How did I start it before? I don't remember.
I hate you.
I hate me too. It was a great time. Folks, welcome to this week's production of This Week in Mormons. You can visit us at thisweekinmormons.com or send us an email at contact@thisweekinmormons.com. My wife is wearing some hot workout pants. This is good stuff.
That was your whole thing, Jeff.
That's
your rap. My wife is wearing hot workout pants. You'd be the worst rappist ever.
I'm a terrible rappist. I'm the world's first analyst and therapist.
Analyst.
Yeah, that's a good
I
one.
like that better.
Anywho, I'm here. It's This Week in Mormons.
I didn't even ask how you were doing. Did you want me to ask how you are?
It's like a reflex when there's a lull in the conversation.
I know. It's like Pavlov's dog now. We start a show and you're like, I'm good. I did nothing this weekend. I'm sorry. You're
My
better
life
than
sucks.
I am.
Your life is superior. You built an app this
I'm like,
weekend.
Jeff, I haven't even said anything. How can you already jump right to this conclusion?
Sat there and I bet you used Ruby or something and you wrote some kind of program. And
No, yeah. We had the startup weekend this week. That was exciting. We built an app. Here was the app that we built. It was called Gasp. And my job, and I volunteered for this, was to find funny and shocking videos while everyone else worked and built this app. And then we would play the videos and record your reaction while you were watching the video and then play them back. We thought it was very clever. The app will be in the App Store someday, I'm sure. But we had a working app by the end of 54 hours. This is why I love Startup Weekend. Great time. If you have the chance to go and you're entrepreneurial in nature, do it.
That seems like a valuable use of time.
Well, when you put it in terms of actual value, maybe less effective. But what it was great to step away from my normal work stuff and go and work on something fun, something entertaining with a new group of guys. Always interesting.
Also, you took a great photo. Did you see our This Week in Mormons Instagram account today?
No, what did it say?
Take a look, Al. Take a look right now while you're
Instagram Instagram.com/thisweekinmormons. Here we are.
That is the one.
Why am I photoshopped onto Noel Pica's face?
No, you're next to her.
Why do I have boobs?
You're a
Jeff?
woman, Al. You're a woman.
Who is this woman with us?
That's Noel Pica's Pace on the left. We met her this week.
The other one.
She's clearly Russian. Who cares? Leave her out of it.
Oh, we are so
there
excited.
We are.
And that
I photoshopped us into a photo with Noel Pica's face.
All right, I'll like that. We got to like bomb the heck out of that.
I put that up. You reminded me of it because I used the photo from your Gasp session.
No, I got the connection.
You see what I did there?
And then I was gasping with how excited I was. I'm going to repost that onto my Insta.
How?
There's a little app called Repost. Have you ever used Repost?
I've never used Repost. As far as I'm concerned, Instagram has a lame...
It's like a tumble for Instagram.
Yes.
You just tumble it.
Well, that's...
Anyway, how was your weekend, Jeff? Did you build anything significant? Did you try and change the world or better your life in any way?
Well, I went to a dance party.
Like I did?
I danced. I blessed the world with my spirit of dance.
That was your big idea?
It was marvelous.
That was it.
A dance party full of singles and me and my wife. Is the only married people there.
Wait, were you a chaperone?
No, we were not a chaperone.
Oh, my gosh.
People are dancing and riding and cornholing. It was wonderful.
I don't think that means what you think it means.
It was delightful. My wife and I...
So what was this dance about? Why were you at a dance?
Because one of our friends threw a dance party. And so we went.
That's not a real thing.
My wife used to throw dance parties, but things like that don't happen once you get married because you just don't care anymore. And so we moved on. Are you still reposting? You seem very distracted.
I am reposting this.
So that's the life, man. Living the dream. I also had Al, have you ever done new member discussions? Like, have you ever helped?
When I was a missionary.
Okay, but have you ever done them since, as a ward missionary or helped out or anything?
No, never.
Okay. I've done them a few times, but I don't think it's like that big of a deal. We've had some new members in our ward. We had the missionaries over for dinner last week. Incidentally, as an aside, missionaries, it's good practice to call and verify your eating appointment.
Is that true?
We could leave it at that. Yeah, I had to track.
Wait, what happened? What happened?
We signed up to visit to have them over, and we weren't sure, and so I had to call. This was last Tuesday, and I called them Tuesday afternoon to saying like, "So is this still happening? What's going on?" We never set up a time. All I did was I filled out a calendar, and that was it. There's been no verification, and they're 18-year-olds. I don't know. So mission presidents, teach them simple social responsibility while you're teaching them everything else. For goodness sake. So the point is, it turns out they need to teach these lessons in Spanish to some new members. I said, oh, well, if you need help, let me know. I'd be happy to embarrass myself and pretend I still know how to speak Spanish. And then we're going to see what happens. So that seems like no big deal. But then at church on Sunday, I've never had so many people kind of pull me aside when they say hi to me and say, oh, so hey, you're going to be teaching those new member lessons to blank, right?
You're like, hold on.
And I just said, yeah. And then again it happens, oh, I heard you're going to teach the new member lessons. And I just said, yeah.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, is this a big, very confusing to me. My guess is maybe they just mentioned it in ward council or something for all the relevant parties. But I found it highly amusing that it was like the news of the ward that I was just going to offer to help out.
Jeff, you're in a married person ward. There is literally nothing else of interest going on in anybody's life.
That's not true.
What did they do? Did they all go to a dance party with a bunch of single people and then one married couple? Please.
Yes. That was a good night for me. The problem was we went there after eating Cafe Rio, which I do not advise.
You're such an awful person.
I don't advise gyrating on the dance floor when a pork salad is in your belly. Why are you on your phone? Pay attention to me.
I'm reposting this.
How long does it take to repost? Are you on your iPhone where it takes...
I'm hashtag Olympics. This is important, Jeff. Why are you picking
the Olympics,
on my picus pace?
The Olympics are over. By the way, have you been following the Ukraine situation, just for a brief update for our people?
Yes, I have. And the Yanukovych is charged with mass murder and is on the run.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
How crazy is this?
It's been a very an alarming past week. I mean... freaky deaky. It's just nuts. Last time we talked, they had some killing on that last Wednesday, and then they had a truce. Then the truce ended, and like 80 more people died the next day. And now Yanukovych has fled, and they have like seized government property. It's crazy now. It's a revoluция.
It really is just nuts right now, man. Like it makes me so sad to see this stuff happening. I know you have the same reaction to it. It's just crazy.
It's frustrating, but maybe there's a silver lining. Maybe they'll have their act together this time, and we won't see what we saw when we were there. When the whole Orange Revolution just kind of got snowballed by everybody else who was fighting with each other and not making good choices. Maybe this time they'll do it right.
Yeah.
And now that the Olympics are over in Russia is back to devoting its energy to ripping on Ukraine and saying how it's all a big Western publicity stunt and a coup.
I wish something would have happened, like some sort of a protest at the Olympics would have happened by Ukrainians.
Well, interesting, actually. Some of the Ukrainian team people, I think on the ski team, wanted to wear some kind of an armband or something to show like solidarity with the protesters, but the Ukrainian Olympic Committee would not allow it just because they don't typically. Uniforms are kind of treated with a lot of reverence at sporting events like this. You're not supposed to be able to change them and do things to them. So they said no. But that's it.
Well, I would have done it anyway.
Well, good.
I would have done it anyway.
Well, good. Folks, by the way, as a reminder for you while we have you here earlier in the show, Al, if you've ever wanted to meet Al.
I want to.
Or myself.
Yeah.
We will be
How can we do it?
This Saturday, March 1st. Starting around 8:39 in the morning, there will be an LDS social media symposium at the Irvine Stake Center in Irvine, California. That's on Lake Drive in Irvine.
Now remind me, Jeff, are we teaching about how to use social media, or is this like a how to share gospel with social media, or just you're cooler with social media? What do they want me to talk about?
Well, Al, since you asked, we are going to be discussing particularly...
And for those of you who think that this is just a cheesy lead-in so Jeff can talk more about it, I genuinely have no idea what we'll be speaking about.
Yeah, we're talking about social media, but specifically the gospel, how we can more effectively be members in the 21st century with using social media to share the gospel, to be Latter-day Saints, all that stuff. So Al and I will be leading some advanced workshops all about Facebook, which we're experts in. And there'll also be...
I'm actually pretty dang good at Facebook. That's going to be fun.
Sure you are. I wouldn't know.
Jeff, no one has more friends than I do.
That's
no
true.
one.
But there will be a lot of other presenters there as well for different sessions who run some other prominent Mormon blogs and publications and things. So if you're in the Southern California area and feel like driving up or down to Irvine on Saturday, we will be there like wizards. I might even bring Dumbledore's wand.
And just heckled us. Can you take Dumbledore's wand on an airplane, Jeff?
I think I should bring yeah, it's a problem. I don't know if they'll let it on the plane. I'm hesitant to leave it in my luggage because obviously they'd take it.
Yeah. Then you just say Accio Dumbledore's wand.
Accio.
Let's see.
I wonder if I could bring this. I should bring the wand. It would be good to have with us, I think.
You're such a dork.
I think it would complete.
But yes.
I'll just like
so Jeff, well, I'm excited that you gyrated on the dance floor with your wife while she's in workout pants.
Thank you. Do you know who else gyrated last week?
Go on.
McKay Coppins, Al.
McKay
Coppins is apparently
we were right on, yes. So I love
this
story,
is only
Jeff.
Mormon news because of our ongoing one-sided feud with McKay Coppins.
So this validates everything we've ever said. Allegedly, the man McKay Coppins has finally got his moment in the light. That goofy, googly-eyed man has finally hit the headlines, and now he wants out.
He wants out.
Look how awful that picture is of him. Shameful.
Oh.
How dare a man look like McKay Coppins? How dare a man?
Do you want to walk us through anything that we're discussing here, Al? Do you want me to offer?
No. Lay it out. I just want to heckle. This is my moment, too.
So, McKay Coppins writes for BuzzFeed now, and he wrote an article called 36 Hours on the Fake Campaign Trail with Donald Trump. And McKay was given access to hang out for 36 hours with Donald Trump and just, shadow him and see what's up and interview him. Then he wrote an altogether... I wouldn't say flattering article.
Unsavory.
An unsavory article about Donald Trump. The thing is, when you're unsavory with the Trump fires back. And so...
yeah, he does.
So here...
Yeah, he does.
Another article over at Breitbart from Donald Trump says... Trump says, scumbag BuzzFeed blogger ogled women while he ate bison at my resort. And so Trump's people are going after McKay, saying that McKay was like aloof and a jerk and that he was staring at women and saying he wishes his wife looked like them. Now, I do take some of this with a grain of salt because Donald Trump says a lot of things that need to be taken with copious amounts of salt. And so who knows what is actually true? Oh, say what is truth. I know not. But there's, of course, the part of me that chooses to believe that this validates everything we have ever suspected of McKay Coppins and more.
Yes. So I especially like the part that he offhandedly wishes that his wife looked like these women.
It's terrible. If that's true, that's terrible. McKay,
oh my gosh,
we invite you, McKay, to appear on our show to set the record straight. We are here for you. You can reach dozens of people if you appear on this show, McKay Coppins. To anyone listening who knows McKay Coppins, bring him. We will twim him.
Oh my gosh, dude. So for those of you right now, I have a piece airing on NBC Nightly News.
Oh boy,
about the quilt shop, and there's over 2,000 people on my site right now. Jeff, this is crazy. This is an awful time for me to be recording a podcast. My site is blowing up. Oh my gosh, 2,600 people on there. My site's gonna go down. Oh my gosh, this is gonna be awful.
Don't let it crash. But is anybody buying anything, Al? That's the thing.
Dude, are we okay? I'm typing to my programmer right now. we're over 3,000 people. Over 3,500 people.
For anyone who wants a little back,
Holy,
if you need a little back,
holy mother.
Oh yeah, let's see if it goes on. For anyone who needs a little background here, Al's beautiful quilt shop is going to be profiled on NBC Nightly News with Brian Williams. They sent Harry, whatever his name is, out there.
Harry Smith came out and did a piece in Hamilton, Missouri.
Yeah, let's see. Okay, it's starting right now. We're getting as you speak. I'm watching the teaser right now with Brian Williams. It looks like they're talking about pregnant women, and if only this were okay. And then we're cutting the defense budget. Man, I don't know where you're going to appear, Al. This is hardcore.
Oh my gosh, Jeff, I'm dying.
The price
site's going down slowly.
Someday we'll get to.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, they just showed Harold Ramis going down a fire pole because he passed away. That's not related to you. I don't know when it's going to be on, Al. So
no, it's on. So it's on in the Midwest right now. That's what all this is. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
I don't know. It's not. I'm watching Brian Williams right now, though, and he's not. There was no teaser about your shop yet. Sorry about this, folks. This is.
No, it's on right at the end. Right at the end.
Oh, it's on at the end? Oh, good.
Yeah.
Then we can finish up the show, and then I can see it. That's excellent. So let's move on to some stories, and then,
all right,
carry on
all
my
right.
wayward son.
I'm a little distracted. I've got 5,700 people on the site right now.
Okay, well.
This is crazy.
I'm going to keep talking.
This is madness, Jeff. This is the most I've ever had on a website I've built.
Some of you folks.
6,000 people.
Some of you folks might have seen a website at one time called The Bunyan, which is a satirical website about BYU. But there's also a satirical website for BYU Idaho that's called Rexburg Squirrel.
Wait, are we done with McKay Coppins? That was our mainstay. That was the biggest thing that happened in Mormon news this week.
Because it happened to a Mormon.
No, because the guy that we hate is like finally.
No. But this, Al, did you see this article that I like? That this is good satire where this guy says BYU Idaho scientists successfully crossbreed a corn plant and an apricot tree.
I did see that. Yeah.
Because the popcorn is popping, you see.
Oh, I see.
It's going to be like a one-handed show. Danielle, plug in a microphone. He's useless to me tonight.
Oh my gosh, Jeff, we're over 7,000 people. Jeff, yeah, I can't even fathom that this is happening, that this is real. Oh my gosh.
Psst, dude, we get more traffic than that on This Week in Mormons. I don't know what you're so excited about.
No. This is at one moment.
I know, Al. You don't watch the site traffic like I do. Oh
my god.
Tens of thousands of people.
Tens of people.
Al, how do you feel about popcorn popping on the apricot tree?
So I like that they've tried to do this. I think that's funny.
Uh-huh.
Jeff, I'm a mess right now. I'm setting records. I can't believe
for
this.
yourself.
Almost. So I'm almost to 8,000.
Oh my goodness.
8,000 people.
Danielle, what happened to my sock? Is one sock missing?
Okay. All right. I'm with you.
A sock is missing in action. This is so sad. Well, popcorn popping's not that big of a deal. Also,
there's nothing that was like a big deal right now.
What about the mysterious powder that was found at the church office building? You know about that.
Okay, so I had a buddy that works at the church office building, and he mentioned that he got sent home they got an extended lunch because somebody sent white powder. It was nothing. It was just like, just them.
So that's the story.
So neat. That's it. Nothing really. Nothing happening. First, why are people sending baking soda to the church?
Did they say what?
Second,
they haven't said what
why
actually.
is the church going home?
They haven't actually said what came in the envelope, though, have they?
No, they have no idea. They said it was a false alarm. They're getting the FBI to figure out where it's from.
I've honestly been pretty amazed by the security at the church office building. Like, they don't mess around. I've had easier times getting into government facilities than I have the church office building.
Oh, yeah.
No,
I love what they do.
I mean, seriously, you check in at a reception, they double check this, they print up a label, then you go to another woman and she back checks something, and X, Y, and Z, and then they have, blocked turnstiles to get to the elevators that they only activate when you walk in front of them once they've cleared you. I mean, what do they think I'm going to do? Head upstairs and just start yelling at President Monson or something? Hey.
I think that's what you would do.
That's not what I would do.
Well, if you did go upstairs and started yelling for President Monson, What would President Monson do? I bet he'd just hug you. He'd just love you up.
I remember, though, being in the office building last year, and I was confused because the administration building is the one that is supposed to house the offices of the brethren. An office building is just the everything else side of the church. But it said the floors in the office building, and it said there were like offices for, the first presidency and the presidency of the 70. So I don't know. I don't know how the spread is, to be honest, unless they just have support staff up there that they can't fit in the admin building. I don't know. These are things I'm not aware of, Al. The things that I cannot comprehend.
Well, yeah, okay. All right, I'm officially back with you now. The surge is past. We've lived. We're just a little slow on the site right now. Jeff, you can't fathom what this was for me.
I can
to see that
this.
many people on my site. Just crazy.
If only you guys ran ads, you could get some great CPM for that.
Oh my gosh, it's so Jeff.
Al, you would be earning like $10 a second right now.
Tens of dollars.
It'd be amazing. Having earned dozens of dollars for this podcast, I understand how excited you must be.
Oh, it was exciting.
So tell me a story, Al. Because you keep saying you're back here with me, and so I want you to lead.
All right, hold on. Let me pull up what else we got. Let's see. So, here's a dumb story. Mormons in baseball. You know what's less interesting than Mormons in baseball? Nothing. Mormons in baseball is the dumbest topic we could ever want to talk about.
How dare you insult our friend Kent Larson?
Guess who's in baseball? Bryce Harper. He's a Mormon. Woo! And then you know who else? No one else that you've heard of. None.
You're so full of it. Wrong. Jacoby Ellsbury. Very famous. Known guy. Doug Fister's LDS? I don't know how LDS Doug Fister is.
Okay, first off, you can't have a name like Doug Fister. That's not okay.
Al, you can. And the Nats got Doug Fister in the most lopsided trade ever from the Tigers. Doug Fister's an amazing pitcher.
No, and you can't be Mormon.
And the Nats only gave up, what's his face? That lame shortstop who barely plays. It was the weirdest trade ever, and Fister's like a number 2 starter. It's amazing. The Nats have the best pitching in baseball this year. You got to respect that. Come on. Also,
I do respect it, Jeff, but his name is still Fister.
And what is your problem with that, Al? I would like to understand.
It's dirty, and he's a Mormon. He shouldn't have that name.
You're a terrible human.
That's what I'm trying to say.
I'm going to call your girlfriend and tell her who you really are.
So call your girlfriend.
Do you remember how much?
Can we just go back to McKay Coppins being called a pig for ogling women on Donald Trump's airplane? Can we just never leave this story? Because McKay Coppins so has it coming. McKay Coppins was singled out as being a scumbag BuzzFeed blogger who ogled women while he ate bison at Donald Trump's resort. Amazing. Let's never not, like, I want this to be the banner, the cover page for Facebook. I am just, this is what restitution is. I mean, this must be how the Saints felt when Kit Bond, senator of Missouri, came back and said, hey, I'm sorry, we're repealing this extermination order. Everybody's like, oh, good. This feels so nice. This is how we feel having McKay Coppins singled out as a scumbag ogler. Thank you, world. Thank you.
Does it feel as good as having 7,000 people on your site at one time?
I mean, sort of good.
Almost as well. Okay, that's good. Al, do you like the Ensign?
Yeah, I like it a lot.
But do you?
Why, Jeff?
Let's be honest here. Do you read through the Ensign every month? Do you subscribe?
I do. I like when I have it. I will. I'll read through it front to back.
When you have it,
it sits next to the toilet, and I read an article every time I sit down.
Okay. But you say when you have it, so do you not subscribe? You just kind of find them lying around?
Well, no, I subscribe back in Missouri, and so I don't always have the new one until I get back and get it.
But you actually read it, which is good.
Yeah, I can read. Sure.
And what do you find from it? Do you find that I'm honestly asking, do you find that you feel fed? Do you feel that they come up short?
No. Well, I mean, it's a couple of articles to read.
You feel like it's just
fluff.
When
I'm not reading about that BYU Idaho guy who made women feel bad.
You mean McKay Coppins?
No, what was the one we talked about last week where the guy
that
took women back?
Oh, the
20
BYU Idaho
years
guy.
or
You mean
whatever.
President Callister of the presidency of the 70? That guy.
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah.
When he spoke at BYU Idaho, that guy.
That guy. Interesting thing, going back to, we'll get back on the Ensign in a second, but I did see an interesting update on that article because the church does edit things for publication in the Ensign, and some of the edits in the Ensign version of it compared to the actual talk, there are some slight differences. I saw many trying to make perhaps a bigger deal out of it than maybe it merits, to be perfectly honest. It seemed like they edited just for brevity and to tighten up language and stuff like that compared to just a long-winded talk. So there's an article here at by common consent, and I think it's just good because it gives you something to think about. I think the Ensign's a valuable publication, and I like having it, though I do admit I have, even myself and many others, sometimes you have the Ensign because you just, it's like nice to put on your coffee table and say, that reminder of things spiritual as I sit here and watch Breaking
Bad. The home
Bad.
teaching message at the beginning that you read and reread.
And keep them out. They're nice to have, and But this article does say, I do love the name of the article. It says, you'll get the type of church members you write for, which was definitely a direct reference to Elder Callister's talk, because he said, women, you'll get the kind of man you dress for. So he says you'll get the type of members you write for, and argues some of the problems with the Ensign. I don't think I have passionate feelings one way or the other about the Ensign, but I enjoyed reading this to give me some things to think about, because it does say demand quality articles. And I will say in some ways the Ensign is not full of groundbreaking articles, and it does seem at times...
You wish it was more Deseret News-esque, don't you?
Yeah, that's what we all need. No, I wish it were just Mormon Times. That's all they gave us. Nothing but the Mormon Times. But in some ways I understand it, because think about it. We get General Conference twice a year, and that's it. And then the main medium through which then the brethren can communicate with us regularly is through the Ensign. And other than the First Presidency message, which is usually written for that issue, we don't get stuff that's necessarily relevant to the time. Most Ensign issues are just kind of a hodgepodge of old talks and other articles that are thrown together without any kind of a strong narrative or a theme or anything along those lines. And so I guess you could say that maybe, you should, editors especially, demand, better quality articles and give them more leeway to reject stuff even. And that's one of the hard ones, because sometimes I think the Ensign does wind up carrying articles that aren't very good, because I can't name any
which section are you talking about? Are you talking about the voices from the past in the back, where it's how it is.
So there's some articles you read, it's just okay, why was this in here? I mean, I feel like, I'm not saying the Ensign needs to be a scholarly journal, because there are scholarly journals for the sake of there being scholarly journals. It's broad for a reason. I would also enjoy seeing maybe greater international focus in the Ensign. I think right now it's written to try to be sort of as vanilla as possible, so that it can be quote unquote broadly appealing. Everyone from every culture can get it. But I would enjoy reading articles from points of view of different cultures. I feel like I, as a saint, stand to benefit more, from actually saying, oh, great, this is awesome to see what's going on with the saints in Botswana, and understanding the difficulties they face there, and understanding what the church is like there, rather than kind of the same the same message. It's usually the same message that seems like it came from somebody's farm in Utah, no matter who wrote it or what country it came from. So there's that. And I I would appreciate an Ensign that might be a bit denser. I'd enjoy that.
So here's the thing, though, right? It's do they? I mean, they can do some of that, but when they do that, it feels contrived. Wouldn't you agree? Anytime we've seen efforts like that come out of them, it feels cheeky.
What, you mean when they publish stuff that shows an international bent, or what? What do you mean? What?
Yeah, when they're take a look at these, how these members in Ireland found the gospel.
Well, yeah, but I think part of that is because of the way they edit down the publication in the end. And the Ensign edits heavily. Any publication edits, but I know people who have had things published in the Ensign that have had huge sections edited out, especially ones that showed any kind of a downside or adversity, or even you could say real life. With these things, and then they only filter through the sunshiny Disneyification of things, I guess you could say. The gospel's wonderful, and the gospel sometimes involves adversity and difficulty and doubt and a lot of things. But the gospel is wonderful, and I think you can always have a positive magazine with empowering.
Well, in my
messages.
experience with the Ensign, that there's plenty of stories about overcoming hardship. I think they just don't want to dwell on the doubt or frustrations and stuff that come as part of the gospel. Now, that being said, I think that's probably with good reason, right? You're going to get more out of people, or you get more effect by focusing on the positive than you do ever spending time on the negative. I mean,
well, and
Manager 101, right? Like if you never mention the negative at all and just focus on the positive things people do, they still end up, you have a net positive or a net growth across your organization.
Well, imagine, and that's fair, but imagine this. There's been times before in the earlier days of the Ensign, or when we had other publications like the Improvement Era and things like that, when they would publish hymns and explain how to like sing hymns and go through them. Poetry was even common in church magazines at a time. Like original poetry was a thing that happened. And also comprehensive church history lessons on real stuff. That's stuff that is lacking nowadays. Like I would love that if they actually spent time really like going into the history of some random thing. Why do I have to buy the actual volume of history of the church, which is great, but why do I have to get that or go online and dig around and try to find articles? Why not give that stuff to the members so that they understand stuff beyond the very, very surface level things? And poetry. I would love poetry. I want Mormon poetry.
Yeah.
Give me.
Yeah.
I want Al to write poems.
Well, even an art section where it featured some more of the
or feature.
I mean that kind of stuff.
Feature Mormon artists. I mean, the most diversity we really see is from the I'm a Mormon campaign. You know, we see that.
Now here's what I wonder. What if? Oh, go ahead with the I'm a Mormon.
Well, I was going to say,
campaign.
like, the I'm a Mormon campaign exists to show the diversity of the church, but the Ensign really doesn't. The Ensign still exists to show that very boxed-in version of Mormonism. I don't think the Ensign has gotten to the same level as I'm a
the
Mormon.
botulism version of Mormonism.
Yeah,
is
the
weird,
botulism version. But you know what I mean? Like, I'm a Mormon's great because it shows how diverse we are and interesting people from all walks of life. I don't think we get that as much in the Ensign, and we could.
Here's what we should do, Jeff. Why don't we redesign the Ensign? Why don't we build our own just to see?
And it doesn't have to be dumb. We don't want articles that are like, top 25 things to not say in a bishop's interview. Or
no, McKay Coppins is not going to write for us. Speaking of McKay, have you seen how he was an ogling pig on Trump's airplane? How this man reaches out, brings him into his own, and all Fatty McKay can do, all he wants to do is just spite the hand that feeds him. Look how dumb Donald Trump is. Well, the joke's on you,
Donald is a wonderful man, and he is underappreciated.
Don't you ogle women. How dare you? How dare he?
In other quick news, folks, this is kind of interesting. The Atlantic.
Bianca Pop says, I don't know how to say it. He was just looking at me like I was yummy. Well, McKay, she's not yummy. She is not yummy for you. You married man.
Do you have evidence that she's not?
No, I don't.
Oh, okay.
I could Google Bianca Pop. Let's see how well this turns out. A hostess at Trump's Florida resort.
Yeah, please tell me.
He was looking at me like I was yummy.
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. Well, Al looks for that. Just so you know, the Atlantic.
Oh, well, I mean, yummy to some, not to all, maybe. Okay. All right. I can't look at these anymore. Tab is closed, Jeff. We're back to Jesus. Take me there.
Well, the way Jesus is doing it now, The Atlantic, as I'm trying on my third attempt here, is a great publication, great journal, and it's partnering with Deseret News, actually, to produce a 4-part series called The Father Factor. It'll be co-published in both of them to basically highlight fatherhood.
It's a modern adaptation of Perfect Strangers.
Yeah, fatherhood.
Yeah. No, it's going to be great.
Fatherhood in America. And eventually, I believe that NBC will probably pick up the rights and try to make it into a 10 p.m. drama. It's going to be great. Fatherhood. But I'm curious to see how this goes, especially because...
I'm excited that The Atlantic is doing things.
Yeah, I mean, The Atlantic...
But they finally caught up with the Deseret News.
That's why I think it's funny.
They
went out of their way to include Deseret News in this. They must have said, hey, the Mormons know something about families or have a focus on families, so we could partner with them. But I do think it's an interesting pairing to say the least. I mean,
or what probably happened is somebody from the Deseret News has gone to work at the Atlantic and said, hey, I owe this guy a favor.
yeah, that's probably what happened, actually. I think you're right, Al. As you often
If
are.
I know journalism, and I think I do.
Okay.
I don't. I actually don't. Let's see. So here's one, Jeff.
Yes, Al?
BYU is to play a salute to early black Mormons with a nearly all-black cast. Finally. The award-winning play, I Am Jane, about the life of Jane Manning James, will be performed using an all-black cast. Now, BYU has been waiting patiently in order to do this until they had enough black people enrolled to support an all-black cast. Here we are, 2014. We have 17 people. We've done it.
Is that how,
Way to
is
go,
that how
BYU.
many are in the cast? We're going to find out it's like a one-person...
What's
it's
that?
like a one-man show is what we found out.
It's just one man in a
They
monologue.
found the lone person at BYU who could do it.
Oh, that'd be awful.
Yeah. While we do say the world is our campus,
That would
diversity
be
at
awful.
BYU. Well, here's the thing. It's more just within Mormonism. Because I feel like BYU is pretty awesome. I honestly feel there are more like foreign nationals per capita at BYU than most other universities. I mean,
Not true.
sorry.
No.
I know that you're going to
disagree.
tell me BYU Hawaii has more, but I just mean overall at the BYU experience, there are a lot of foreign nationals if you go to BYU, and that's great. I think it's fun because
I went to BYU, and there were not almost any internationals.
I thought you said, Al, you've told me before.
Maybe one per class, Jeff, if you were lucky.
Al, you told me before at Hawaii it was mostly nothing but Polynesians and very few Americans. You were on the record saying that.
No. I'm talking BYU Provo. When I went to BYU Provo, there was nobody. You had the one black guy
okay,
that you
well,
would
I
see
studied
walking,
political
like, from far across.
I studied political science, and so the poli-sci IR crowd, you get a lot more international students. So maybe my opinion is skewed.
Sure.
I don't know. Either way, good times all around. But I think good for them. I mean, it is a good school. It's a great place to meet lots of diverse people. I keep looking over my shoulder to see if the story is going to air. Now it looks like it's talking about NASCAR, which I could.
Now you're there too. This is crazy.
If I
It's
could,
right
I
at the
could
end.
not even will myself to care less about NASCAR than I do. I could try. One of our last little pieces here, a nice little post on ldsccblogger.com called "My First Trip to the Temple." And you know what I like about it?
Okay.
It's just someone going over their first awesome experience of going to a temple. And I think so rarely do we read someone writing a blog post where they just talk openly about, hey, I went to the temple and I had a great time there and I loved it and I want to keep going back. So many people are just like, yeah.
What do you don't turn away. Now what am I doing? The
I'm
one
sorry.
man show now?
We had a false alarm, but apparently it's actually a story about washing machines. I was confused.
Oh. Ugh. This is a podcast half about Mormonism, half about NBC Nightly News with
And
Brian
washing
Williams.
machines. Okay, well, he's looking down at his notes. Now it's movie phone. I don't know what to tell you. Brian,
Wait, so what did they say? They went to the temple in Louisville, which is a beautiful
I've
temple.
been to that
in
temple,
there.
actually. I enjoyed it, but I like it. It's a long post, but it's about her experience feeling the spirit. It's great.
That's good.
Honestly,
We
I
should give her some
feel
love.
so,
There's no
I feel like
comments.
so often reviews of the temple and stuff like that are from people who have who have issues with it, and you hear about, don't pay attention, don't get freaked out by it. I don't.
The advice I give everybody who's going through the temple is I say it's just weird. It's like nothing.
Al, your mom's on
It's
television.
it's weird, and just enjoy the feeling there, and then try and understand it. As
Okay,
it
it's time to finish
That's
up
what
because
it's
Brian Williams just teased with a picture of your mom sewing after the commercial break.
Okay, we gotta go. We
So
gotta
it's
go.
time to go.
All right.
Folks, we appreciate you
You
tuning
can
in.
email us, contact at thisweekinmormons.com, or find us online, thisweekinmormons.com. Jeff?
Facebook.com/ThisWeekInMormons, at The Real Twim on Twitter, Twee Mormons on YouTube, Twee Mormons on Pinterest, This Week in Mormons on Instagram. Look for Sunday School Bonanza, where we go through gospel doctrine lessons. Look for Third Hour of Power, where we go through the Manual of Teachings of the Presidents of the Church. Both of those are podcasts that are available on iTunes or Stitcher Radio.
They're great podcasts.
Send us an email, go to our website, and please come see us on Saturday if you are in Orange County. But go to the link we'll put up because they do encourage registration so they have an idea what they should be looking forward to. Apparently, according to the powers that be, interest is greatest in our session, Al. That's what I've heard so far.
Yes, I believe it's true.
Mostly because they want to know if we're real people or just phantasms. Anyway, I'm going to go watch Al's mom, Jenny, be adorable. And that's it. All right.
All right. See you.
Bye,
See
everyone.
you guys.
Bye, Al. Good luck. Thanks, folks, for listening in. We hope you have a great week. We'll talk to you later on. I'm off to California. This is This Week in Mormons. Bye-bye.
Blue.